You are bringing a really important message that has been signed, by the way, by some of the biggest leaders in the Christian community. I just looked down the list. I see some giant names of megachurch pastors, people like Steve Strang of Charisma Media. You have Jack Hibbs. You have the actor Kevin Sorbo. There are a number of others. What is the important message that you are bringing to the Trump administration right now?
Well, first of all, Dinesh, you mentioned Kevin Sorbo. I'm actually his stunt double, so I just wanted to clarify that for your audience. But when I'm not his stunt double, I'm honored to be here representing the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, where I'm a senior advisor. And the letter, the purpose of the letter, and I kind of need to back up and put it this way, Dinesh, is, of course, you saw the amazing job that President Trump did recently talking about Christian persecution in Nigeria and how it's sort of his Monroe Doctrine. He said, we're not going to stand for that. And the president said, we're not going to stand for Christian persecution in Nigeria or any other country. This is a U.S. policy. Like, unfortunately, in the Biden administration, it was the opposite. It was, we're going to stand for transgender rights in other countries. Well, thank God we have a righteous person in office, and he's standing up for persecuted Christians in whatever the country may be. And
well, Matt, I mean, he went so far as to say that if you guys, meaning the Nigerian government, doesn't straighten this out, he goes, we're going to come in there guns a-blazing. I think that's the phrase that jumped out at me, which really shows that Trump is no isolationist. He's not going to drag the United States into protracted wars, but he doesn't hesitate to go abroad when necessary and administer a well-needed clobbering.
Yeah, well, the president has never liked, Dinesh, if you remember, actually, the missiles he sent into Syria in his first administration. He doesn't like humans being harmed, like the innocent being harmed. And that's the righteous instinct that he has. And exactly to your point, he said, hey, Nigeria, you don't knock it off. We're going to knock it off for you. So now we have today at the White House, the new president of Syria, of course, a former al-Qaeda terrorist, Ahmed al-Shara. And, we saw President Trump go to the Middle East and meet with MBS and meet with al-Shara. And the president sat down and he said, look, kid, I know you've got a troubled past. I know you've been in juvie a couple times. You've been in and out of jail, literally in and out of jail, U.S. terrorist detention centers. But we're going to give you the keys to the car. And that's fine. We're going to give you the keys to the car, but you have to act appropriately. And now, of course, he's not acting appropriately. A little background. In July, his forces went down to southern Syria to a place called Sweda, and they started slaughtering people, Dinesh, October 7th style, like from your documentary, but raping little girls, throwing grandparents and their grandchildren off buildings, burning old people alive in their wheelchairs, ripping a guy's heart out and eating it in front of him. I mean, the most gruesome stuff. They have hundreds of women and children currently that are hostages, okay? This is happening. So they realized this was not a strategy to take over the region because they'd have to slaughter everybody. So now there's a siege of Sweda happening, where this is a city of 750,000 people. They are below the United Nations level, just as an example. Daily water intake is below the United Nations level for starvation, okay? So this is a very, very serious situation, and they're slowly killing a bunch of these people, and then we're heading into winter. So a humanitarian disaster, I don't know how you get worse than disaster, Dinesh, but a humanitarian disaster is turning into a mega disaster. And so these faith leaders are saying to the president, hey, you stand up for religious freedom. You've been our champion around the world, and basically you own this guy, because he really wouldn't be in charge in Syria unless you gave him your endorsement. So take him out to the woodshed and tell him, knock it off with the killing of Christians and Druze and Alawites and other minorities, and we won't have a problem. And that's what these faith leaders are asking.
When I first came to America around 1980, I had $500 in my pocket. That's it. Now, if I'd been really frugal and not spent a penny of that money, what do you think it would be worth now? What could it actually buy now compared to what it could buy in 1980? Well, the answer, less than $130. Now, why is that? because the US government, through the Fed, is constantly printing money and devaluing your money. When the government prints money, there's more money chasing the same amount of goods and services. So guess what? Money goes down in value. Money buys less. The Fed has been at it since 1913. That's why a dollar today can buy just what a few cents could buy in 1913. And the government continues to print oceans of money. It really never stops. Now, an ounce of gold reached a high of $850 in 1980. It's worth now around $3,900 an ounce. So historically, over time, we see gold has gone up and up in value. Dollars have gone down and down. And what about in the last 12 months? Gold is up over 40%. I believe now is the time to find out how you can diversify your savings with gold and silver. And this is why I've partnered with Goldco. They offer the best customer service for precious metals ownership. They are also the only gold dealer that offers a first-time gold buyer rebate of up to 10% in bonus silver on qualified purchases. There's no better offer out there, so take advantage. To learn more about how to safeguard your savings from the dollar's decline, go to dineshgold.com. Very simple, easy to remember, dineshgold.com.